love Virginia, the state, not the town that shares the name in the Iron Range up in Minnesota, even though I have been to Virginia, Minnesota, but that's not important right now. You want to hear a rant? You might not have a choice. It's later on in the episode, but this is Short Time Shots, a look back at the day's scores and more from the world of wrestling for February 18th, 2018. I'm your host, Poquoson, Virginia native and Hall of Fame wrestling writer, broadcaster, and announcer, Jason Bryant. I just want to tell you both, good luck. We're all counting on you. Yeah, that's your prevailing theme. This is the last of the regular season nightly updates, and I'll actually be throwing in some Saturday stuff here from the NAIA because my wife just spent a week in California on business, and Saturday night we spent the time catching up on The Amazing Race and Top Chef and eating Ben & Jerry's ice cream. That's basically going to be gone for the month of March. Yeah, no more ice cream for at least a while. Anyway, I get all bloated when I eat it anyway. But that's not important right now. I will throw the rant at the end of the show, but it's an entirely different type of flying altogether. Number 1, Penn State finished the regular season 14-0 and capped off a stellar season with 7 falls and a 55-0 win over Buffalo. Several Buffalo starters took the duel off. After all, this one really didn't mean much to anyone other than the seniors in the starting lineup for Penn State and the fans wanting to see who was going to get the nod at 197 pounds. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, it was Shakur Rashid. The here, hold my beer back and forth between Mark Hall and Bo Nickel has been fun all year long. Not saying these two are slugging tall boys at PBR before going on to the mat or anything, but they're trying to pin their opponents faster than each other, and it's actually getting quite comical. Mark Hall went out there and said, you know what? Hey, Bo, here's 56 seconds. Top that. Then at No Bickle said, oh, really? Mic drop, 11 seconds. Yeah, that'll teach him that the red zone is for immediate unloading and loading of passengers only. There's never any parking in the white zone. The Nittany Lions start next season building on its run of 45 straight dual meet victories. Number 2, Ohio State looked fairly sharp in winning 8 out of 10 over number 6, NC State, in front of nearly 4,000 fans at Reynolds Coliseum in Raleigh. Just a week ago, the Pack set an attendance record for the school, only to shatter it 7 days later. Too bad the Team W didn't follow, as Miles Martin started off the duel with a win over Pete Renda in a matchup of highly ranked All-Americans at 184 pounds. But Michael Machiavello did give the Pack fans something big to cheer about, as the North Carolina native knocked off Ohio State's Colin Moore with 2 third-period takedowns at 197. Ohio State's Joey McKenna topped Kevin Jack at 141 pounds, while NC State's Hayden Hidlay stayed unbeaten for the Pack, beating Micah Jordan 6'3" at 157. The Buckeyes finished the season 14-1, while the Wolfpack finished 15-2 after Friday's win over Virginia Tech, giving them the ACC regular season title. No, the white zone is for immediate unloading and loading of passengers only. There is no parking in the red zone. Speaking of things that aren't red, number 4 Michigan had little trouble with number 20 Central Michigan, beating the Chippewas 30-9, with apologies to Kevin Claunch. The Wolverines did see All-Americans Alec Pantelio and Kevin Beasley drop matches, head scratchers there. Number 5, Oklahoma State wrapped up its Big 12 season 8-0 after shutting out host Fresno State 41-0 in front of 4,328 fans, the second largest crowd of the season in Fresno for the reinstated Bulldogs. Great job there, Coach Steiner and staff. Number 7, Iowa thrashed Iowa State 35-6 to claim another victory in the Cy-Hawk series. The Hawkeyes won all 9 bouts that were contested. The only Cyclone win came via forfeit at 197 pounds. Number 9, Lehigh wrapped up its season with a 28-10 win over Pittsburgh. Lehigh's Darian Cruz finished his official season unbeaten with a tight 1-0 win over LJ Bentley at 125. Pitt's Tom Voorhees knocked off All-American Scotty Parker 7-6 at 133. Jordan Wood topped Ryan Solomon a Pitt 3-1 at 285. Oh, stewardess, I speak jive. Actually, I think both of those terms would be offensive to someone nowadays. And by those words, I mean I and speak. Just 2 seasons after going 2-13, number 17 Northwestern capped off its regular season with a 36-10 win over SIU Edwardsville, pushing the Wildcats' record to 11-4. Number 21 Rutgers topped Princeton 28-7. Apparently, the loser had to buy the winner pork roll, egg, and cheese sandwiches for breakfast. By the way, on Saturday, Drexel beat Penn for the cheesesteak trophy. Yes, your rare throwback to Saturday action. Keeping things rolling in the Big Ten, Purdue, number 22 Purdue, closed out its Big Ten schedule by topping number 18 Wisconsin, and what's probably been the most hard-to-figure grouping of Big Ten teams outside the top 4. Anybody that's ranked in the Big Ten between 14 and 25 can beat each other on any given day, and there is no rhyme or reason to why these teams can't be consistent. Sorry, just rankings conundrum. I just kind of, last time I had to do this, so serenity now. I need to do something peaceful, like that time we joined the Peace Corps and worked with this tribe, the Malumbos. They'd never seen Americans before. Other notables saw Appalachian State close out the Southern Conference schedule with a 6-0 mark. The Mountaineers won their third straight Southern Conference regular season title, blasting the Citadel 45-6. George Mason beat VMI in a battle of the Commonwealth. That'd be Commonwealth of Virginia 40-9. Ryder beat Maryland 23-18. West Virginia beat Clarion 25-13. Maryland finished the season with a W, also at home beating Ohio 33-14. And Air Force won an all-Colorado battle against Northern Colorado 27-6. And those are the final dual meets reported for the season here on Short Time Shots. That's like 2,600 matches. Dual meet scores. All of them. MadTalkOnline.com, or actually, hit the scoreboard link or almanac.madtalkonline.com. Only place you can find every single one of them. Most comprehensive scoreboard in college wrestling, folks. Two fingers did it. So, yeah. Anyway. Now to something I typically didn't do this season on Short Time Shots, because sometimes if I did a show and I didn't mention anything the previous night, I just let it roll, because it's about that. The night I record it, you're getting the update in the morning from the previous night's stuff. Kind of starting your day just like that newsletter at madtalkonline.com/news. You get the day's news first thing in the morning. Well, there were 8 conference tournaments to determine NAIA qualifiers on Saturday. So, therefore, I'm going to go give you the recaps of said championships, because the NAIA championships are coming up in Des Moines, first weekend in March. Full qualifier list will be out on Tuesday or Wednesday, probably Tuesday night, and then I believe Wednesday morning. Again, those championships in Des Moines, first weekend in March. So here it is on a roll. Well, not really on a roll, but second-year Reinhardt and Coach Jeff Bedard won the Appalachian Athletic Conference, crowning 7 champions. Reinhardt outdistanced second place West Virginia Tech 131.5 to 65.5. Don't expect too much at Nationals out of this conference. It's pretty much comprised of essentially brand new programs, or programs that haven't had a whole lot of success since they started. I think every team in this conference is at most 10 years old. Midland, that's the one in Nebraska, because there's actually only one Midland University with wrestling. They had 2 champions, but captured the Great Plains Athletic Conference Championship, outdistancing second place Northwestern College. That's the one in Orange City, Iowa, 137.5 to 107.5. And what's a complete surprise to absolutely no one in the wrestling world, Grandview won the Heart of America Conference title with 8 individual champions and 211.5 points. Second-ranked Missouri Valley, yes, that's second-ranked in the nation. Yeah, they're in the same conference. Yeah, woe is me. The Vikings, they're also the Vikings. They're also in the same conference. Well, Missouri Valley, yeah, second place, 162 points. Solid effort there by Mike Mackholtz and his particular Viking squad. York College, the one in Nebraska, won the, wait for it, Kansas Collegiate Conference with 5 champions and 155 points. Second place, Bethany. They're the Swedes, which they're actually from Kansas. They had 134 points in an extreme balanced and tough Mid-South Conference, which is not to be confused with the old Mid-South Wrestling and Jerry Lawler and company. Chris Fleegers, University of the Cumberlands, took home the championship, outdistancing second place Lindsey Wilson, 145 to 138.5. The Patriots had 2 champions, 6 runners-up, while Campbellsville led all teams with 3 champions. No lime green Buddha appearances here. The Sooner Athletic Conference, Indiana Tech. Yeah, I said Sooner, not Hoosier. Indiana Tech won the Sooner Athletic Conference. Again, one of the wonderful things about college athletics is a geographic appropriation of conference names. Anyway, the Warriors, come out and play. Yeah, that was a bad Warriors reference. I've been sticking with airplane references. Where did the Warriors come from? Anyway, Indiana Tech scored 208 points, had 6 champions, and they led the field. Oklahoma City was second with 136 points. In the American Midwest Conference, which is somewhat accurately named, Williams Baptist, that's of Arkansas, scored 205 points and crowned 7 champs to win the conference. Marion, which is out of Indianapolis, which is in the American Midwest. Hey, go figure. They were second with 125 points. And now in the Cascade Collegiate Conference. So here's the deal. Menlo and Southern Oregon are tied for the team championship with 120 points. In Providence, which is formerly known as Great Falls, they finished third with 119 points. It came down to the last match of the tournament. There's a sale at Penny's. Matthew Hopkins of Providence, Javier Gonzalez of Menlo, they're meeting in the heavyweight final. Hopkins needs a major to give the Argonauts, that's Providence, a share of the title. Gonzales needs any sort of win to give Menlo the conference title outright. Southern Oregon needs Hopkins to win, but only by a decision to have a tie at the top of the standings. Now, knowing the relationship between Providence coach Caleb Schaefer and Southern Oregon's Mike Ritchie, I can only imagine the friendly taunting, of course, that was going on through this whole ordeal. Ultimately, Hopkins, that's the kid from Providence, won 10-4, just missing the major. Again, had he gotten the major, we would have had a rare three-way tie for a team championship. A Tech or a Fall would have done it. Just wild. Anyway, as I mentioned before, the only place you can find all these scores and more, almanac.madtalkonline.com. That'll give you quick links to all the postseason tournament results, regardless of where they are housed. Also remind you to buy the D1 preview guide at madtalkonline.com/fanguide18. Presale open now. Will be digitally delivered March 13th. 200-plus pages. You're going to love what you see. I guarantee it. I'm stealing a line from Men's Warehouse. You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it. Well, you're going to love what you read. I guarantee it. madtalkonline.com/fanguide18. This thing retails for $19.99. Get yourself $5 off by using the offer code podcast. Now, I'm kind of changing my mind. This is kind of an edit point. I typically haven't edited this show. I was going to give you an unscripted rant about the Virginia High School League totally screwing over hundreds of kids and wrestling parents and coaches by absolutely just taking a big, giant, heaping dump on the sport of wrestling. I'm going to give you the short version. They have 6 public school classes. Yeah, that sucks. There's a 7th class, the private schools, but they've never been really with the VHSL. Actually, only one school that is a private school is in the VHSL, Liberty Christian. And I think they're actually a 4A school. I'm not quite sure because it was Lynchburg Christian, now it's Liberty Christian. Anyway, not important to the point of discussion here. So we have 6 classes. 4 of those state tournaments were held in high school gyms. Yeah, I see you. Nebraska State Championships, CenturyLink Center. I see you. Wells Fargo Arena, Des Moines, Iowa. I see you. North Carolina, Greensboro Coliseum. I see you. Great atmosphere. Real state tournament experience. It's a real event. If you're in 6A in Virginia as a high school wrestler, you're going to Kellum High School in Virginia Beach for the first day. The second day, you get to go to Oscar Smith High School and finish your tournament. Yes, that's right. 6A, which again is ridiculous that we have 6 public school classes in Virginia, had their tournament in 2 different high schools in 2 different cities, and then came together for the 5A state tournament at Oscar Smith High School. 3A and 4A were about 20 minutes away in Churchland High School in Portsmouth. Not exactly the most stellar city in the state of Virginia to have it. Just check out never mind. I don't want to beat up Portsmouth too bad. But it's just generally P-Town's kind of rough in places. 3A, 4A1, they had no streaming because the VHSL, in all its infinite wisdom, decided to put it in Churchland without even checking to see if you could stream it from there. Kellum wouldn't let them stream the first day, so that first day, 3 of the 6 classes you couldn't even stream, and people tried to pay for it. They're yelling at the NFHS network and Track Wrestling going, hey, where's the stream? Well, yeah, the VHSL put them in buildings and said, hey, you're going to have state tournament. Yeah, streaming? Oh, that's not our problem. The awards podium was this relic from the 60s, it looked like, with 3 spots, and then they put some placards that they had printed up at like Kinko's or FedEx office, whatever the hell it's called now, and it was a joke. 3A, 4A didn't even give brackets to the winners. They gave them blank certificates for all state. 1A and 2A was held at the big dump out in Salem, the Salem Civic Center. By the way, the people of Salem are amazing. People of Southwest Virginia are amazing. The Salem Civic Center, I can't say the same. It's a dump. Ushers are mean. The food is horrible. They just rather get you out of there as soon as it's a burden. It's like wrestling's a burden on the VHSL. And I'm going to try to keep this short because the first time I read through this, or I didn't even read this. This is unscripted. The first time I kind of went on this monologue, this diatribe, this soliloquy, if you will. Yeah, I looked at it. I was like, 28 minutes. Jeez, nobody's going to sit here and listen to me rant for that long. Here are the key points. At Churchland, they put one side of the bleachers out with 8 mats. One side of bleachers in high school. Oh, 2,000. Apparently that side seats 2,000 people. Well, you got 448 athletes. Then you have 91 teams. So that is 180 different coaches. So 448. And let's see, 180 more. Let's see, carry the 1. So right there, that's 620. There's like almost a third right there before you even get the first paying customer. How do you think that's going to work with the fire marshals? So then they can't even show up to watch. If they get the fire marshal said, nope, no more. So you can't even go home and watch because the school wouldn't allow the VHSL to stream. Great foresight, great thoughtfulness there, Virginia High School League, to put it in an event where people can't see it because you wanted to save $1. Oh, we can't have it at big arenas. Well, we don't have any big arenas in Virginia to start with. Most of our bigger college ones are maybe 9,000. Yeah. 6 classes, 1A and 2A out. 1A in Virginia has 28 schools that qualify to wrestler. 28. Grundy won 7 state titles. Now, back in 1997, no, 96. 96 is the best Virginia high school team I've ever seen. Grundy in 96. And this was the 03 class system. They had 14 in the semis, 12 in the finals, and 9 champions. They had 328 or something points, 327.5, something like that. And that was a team. Now they have the team that they have now. They're good, but they're not great by Grundy standards. They had 7 in the finals and 7 champs. My alma mater, Poquoson, which is now 2A, had 6 in the finals and 5 champs. First state championship since 1999. Christiansburg won the 3A by like 120 points. They've watered it down. There were 25 kids, or is it 25? No, it's 36 kids in 1A and 2A with losing records at the state tournament. I would say the VHSL was screwed it up, but it's just like, no, they didn't screw it up. That's the status, that's the norm for the Virginia High School League. In 2015, they cut the tournament in half and made it single elimination. Just when you think it can't get any worse, the VHSL goes, hey, hold my beer. They screwed thousands of kids throughout the last couple years in butchering the sport, putting it in high school gyms that are ill-equipped to handle the crowd, making schools take on money-losing propositions. Some of these host schools did their best to try to make everything work. VHSL provided zero help, according to the reports I've been given. It's disgraceful. I don't like telling people how to do their job. And when I say that, I mean, because a lot of I don't have that experience. Be like, I've never run a state tournament. I've run my tournament. Actually, I ran a tournament at Lafayette High School, which had more entries in the state tournament. I did it in faster time with less mats. And we're out of there by 9 o'clock. But I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a Virginia taxpayer. They're not going to listen to me. But they'll listen to you. You're from Virginia. You want something to do about it? Want to do something about it? Let's get your coaches talking to your principals. The principals are what make the VHSL move. It's not coaches. They're not going to listen to some coach, no matter how much more that coach knows about wrestling than the administrator that's taking a nice little salary from the VHSL. I would say the VHSL, how do they sleep at night? But they probably sleep pretty well because they don't care. Hey, yeah, it's okay. We just gave hundreds of student athletes the worst state tournament experience in the history of Virginia wrestling. That's what it is. And that's not hyperbole. I'm sorry, guys. And girls. There were several girls that qualified. I'm sorry. The nation is laughing at my home state. They're laughing at the leadership. They're laughing at the Virginia High School League. They're not laughing at your performance. They know it's not your fault that the Virginia High School League said, let's make 6 classes. It's not your fault that Virginia crowns 84 public school state champions a year. That's more than Division I crowns All-Americans. So I hope the athletes understand this is not an indictment on your ability as a wrestler. It's an indictment on the VHSL and their ability to lead. Time for a change. Shit needs to change now. That's all I got for you. Thank you for spending your time with me. You've always got time for short time. You want to lead the change? Let me know. I can't do it from here in Minnesota, but I can sure as hell help you out. You know where to find me. At Jason M. Bryant on Twitter, at MattTalkOnline.com, Jason at BryantWrestling.com. I'm in. Virginia, let's get this figured out. The kids deserve it. Your kids deserve it. I'm Jason Bryant. This has been Short Time Shots. The Short Time Wrestling Podcast is proudly outfitted by Compound Clothing. Shirts, singlets, custom gear orders, everything you need. Call up Cliff and the crew at cmpteamwear.com. First time listening? Well, you can change that by going to matttalkonline.com/getshorttime to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or listen on your favorite podcatcher at matttalkonline.com/listen.